Welcome to Two Guys Unfiltered, a podcast where trans people share their coming out stories, the funny ones, the hard ones, and everything in between. I'm Juju.
All right. Are we ready?
I think so.
All right.
No.
So,
Almost dead.
Mason, can you introduce yourself?
Uh,
Your pronouns, all that jazz.
well, all the jazz. Okay.
All the jazz.
I'm Mason. I'm 24. I use he/him pronouns. I genuinely don't know what else to say. There's not a whole lot of jazz.
All right. Well, and if you haven't signed the form, sign the form. You said that your hobbies were like old tech and video games. So, can you tell us more about that?
So with old tech, I just recently started like fixing and breaking mostly iPods. I have two non-working ones as of last night, so that's a bummer. So I just got started in that, and then video games. I mean, I've kind of played casually since I was like 17. Started with like Battlefield and Rainbow Six Siege, but now we've moved up to the big leagues of Power Wash Simulator and some analog horror.
What would you say is one thing that got you into tech or old tech specifically?
Really, it started with the nostalgia factor because I was like, "Oh, I had an iPod growing up. I'm gonna fix iPods." And then I was like, "No, iPods are just kind of great." I would like to get into like cell phone repair and stuff like that as well, but I mean, it's a little bit more expensive to just be buying willy-nilly and practicing on, so iPods are a little cheaper to just buy like five of them untested.
And what do you think is like probably the oldest piece of tech you've had?
I made a note about this. Let's see. I have an iPod Mini and the OG DS, both from 2004.
Did y'all ever have the 3DS?
I had a DSi XL. I never got to 3DS.
That
Guys,
one was kind of cool.
I didn't even have a phone growing up.
What? You're not that much older.
No, it just in general, I just didn't I had
Oh,
a
okay.
CD player in middle school.
Oh man, I miss my Walkman. That thing was great.
I just stick it in my jeans pocket. It was super big. Just walk around with some like over the head headphones.
I was always an
That's kind of
earbuds
dope.
kind of guy.
Yeah, me too.
It was the best.
Until now.
Miss it.
Well, I was gonna use my nice headset, but then I'd have to use my phone to do it because of, wires and dongles and all of that stuff. And I'm
Me right
using my
now.
wife's iPad right now, and I don't have a USB-C dongle, so I couldn't use them.
If you could bring back one piece of old tech with modern upgrades, what do you think it would be?
So I'm actually doing that now with one of my old iPods. I've got an iPod Classic 5th generation from 2005 that what did I just replace? I just replaced and upgraded the storage. So instead of like a spinning disk, type of drive, now it has a solid state drive in it. Um, and then I want to add, Bluetooth and just generally upgrades. 20-year-old battery needs replaced and probably the screen at some point, but
I didn't know you could do all that.
yeah, there's a
Like that
lot of
was
crazy
possible.
stuff you can do with iPods now. A lot of people make kits, and a lot of the time, when people do Bluetooth mods, they just buy a cheap little Bluetooth transmitter and take the board out of it and use that.
Y'all too smart for me. I was
I
like,
wouldn't
I
go
got
that far.
I got suckered to having to buy a new thing all over again.
No, I just like reusing stuff as long as I can, even way
But
past
man,
its prime.
You really just like probably shopping on eBay for cheaper thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, just the other day I had two iPods delivered that I bought on eBay for like 20 bucks, and one of them's already in pieces, broken, and not fixable as of right now. And the other one, I think it was some kid's iPod before this, because somehow they broke, like, you guys remember the old the 30-pin charging cables, the thick ones? They're like long and flat. Juju remembers.
Yeah, I'm old. That's why.
But so there's a piece of plastic in the middle that inserts itself into the actual charging cable, so it like sandwiches around. And somehow they broke off like a chunk of that plastic piece inside the iPod.
Damn.
They
I
probably
gotta be
ate
real
it.
angry for that.
Probably. I mean, it the name of the iPod was like capital letter, lowercase letter, capital letter, lowercase letter,
Oh,
and it was filled with like Justin Bieber and stuff like that.
They definitely ate it. Yeah,
I mean,
for
they had
sure,
to have.
for sure. No other explanation for that.
they just ate it.
Well, I think I sent Juju a picture of it, and he's like, I don't
Yeah,
know what I'm looking at.
That would
I
probably
only
give
know
me the
now
same
because you
response.
explained it. So I was like,
All right. So give us a summary of your coming out story. When did you come out? How soon after did you start medically transitioning? And then what's one thing someone should have warned you about transitioning but didn't?
So I actually came out once when I was like 12 or 13, and then I took it all back because everything was new and scary, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then I came out again at 22, and then, well, I came out to my wife, and then like maybe a month later, I started T because I'd been questioning and using they them for a while, but I just, I was at work just sitting on a plane, and I was just scrolling through my phone, and I saw a picture of like a very specific guy, and I just sent her a screenshot, and I was like, this is what I want to look like, and that's how I came out to my wife. Um, but one thing that
You
I wish
still have
someone
that
would have
picture?
warned me about, I do not, but I'm sure I could find the guy.
Okay. I'm interested now.
But one thing someone should have warned me about was probably the audacity, and I agree with the ass hair. The ass hair is awful.
the audacity.
I didn't know that the audacity was going to come with the testosterone, okay? I thought it was like two separate things, but no, it came with it. Because now I feel like I could take a gorilla in, a one-on-one fight,
No,
whereas before I was like,
definitely.
obviously I can't do that.
My fiance always has to tell me to calm the fuck down. It's like it's never that deep.
We
But
just got
but it
big energy
is.
now. That's all it
Yeah.
Well,
is. Just big energy.
so the turbo in my wife's car just went out, and obviously I used to be an aircraft mechanic, so I can work on a jet engine. Like I have the knowledge to do that. So I was like, it's just a tiny jet engine. I'm sure I can fix your turbo. Like she had made a comment about it like last night, and I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
just
even
the
change
big
my own
energy.
oil.
Yeah, I just pay for it. That's
Yeah,
it.
It's
same.
not
That's my
hard, but it's
energy.
easy to mess up.
Me, take my keys. This is men things.
So mentioning that you said 12, like when you first came out,
Yeah.
were there any moments or experiences growing up that like helped you understand your gender identity?
Honestly, I've never truly had a concept on gender identity. Like, I've never formed a proper thought about it, I guess. So it's just kind of always been like, this gray space, which is why I was using they, them for a while, because I was like, it's just gender. It doesn't really matter. And then it's just every time I would get she'd, I was like, oh, let's not do that. And every time I got called, sir or he, I was like, yeah, more of that.
That one, please.
For sure.
Right? Like, but no, I mean, I never really had any true like realization. I was just like, oh, yeah, that fits.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, all right. So I tried it out for a while and I was like, crap, I really like this.
Would you say though, like coming out, was it a single moment for you, or was it like a kind of an ongoing thing?
What I have written down is it was a single moment, cue the story on the plane, which is the one that I already told. But I mean, it kind of all came together at once, and I was just like, yeah. All right.
So would you say you came out to yourself first, and then you were like, I'm now comfortable telling everybody else, and now the transition can start?
So it was more of my wife knew before I did. So when I came out to her, it wasn't really anything that she wasn't already prepared for. So it was really just mostly me figuring out for myself that, yes, this is what I want to look like. This is how I want to be presenting in the world. And then it came time to start coming out to, family and friends and everybody. Almost everybody has been super supportive.
How were their reactions then? Would it say mostly good?
Yeah, so
Some
my
took some learning.
my parents, they're obviously still learning, they're trying. They seemed a little concerned but supportive when I came out. Like, "Are you sure? Like, if that's what you wanna do, we'll go with it," but, um,
If you
my
ever
wife
change your mind, it's okay.
right? Yeah. My wife, perfect, 10 out of 10, could not ask for a better spouse in general, honestly. But, like, she's just a chef's kiss.
Wives are great.
They are.
Soon to be wife.
Yeah, August is gonna learn soon.
Ooh, you're gonna learn.
He's gonna learn wives are great.
Fantastic.
And then what's probably been the most affirming or joyful part of transitioning?
So, again, I'm gonna answer with the ass hair.
You love
It's
the ass hair.
simultaneously awful, but it's like one of those things where you gotta take the good with the bad and you gotta make the best out of the bad. But like, getting the ass hair, you're like, yeah, I'm hairy now.
Mhm.
But
Man.
but also the facial hair and getting called buddy at the gas station
Yes.
and at work. Cause like so I
Our
work with
boss.
right? I get boss and buddy a lot at work. And it's been really nice.
Unpopular opinion, I hate being called buddy or
I hate it
pal.
too, but it feels
I
so
get
good.
that.
I don't know. I feel like it's has like an undertone to it.
Like condescending almost.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it
So I'm like,
I
definitely
don't
get that.
does.
don't call me buddy. I'm not your buddy. Don't call me pal.
I'm gonna
Just
start
call
calling you
me
pal and buddy all the time now.
just, just call me my name that I paid for. That's it.
That I paid for.
Or just call me sir. That's it. Like I don't know. Buddy and pal is weird to me.
Pal is definitely out there, but buddy, I don't know. At least in Ohio, it's pretty common for someone to be like, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" And is no tone at all, just very neutral,
But yeah,
but
it's common here.
very
Yeah, at the
neutral, but
statement.
also very masculine.
So what would you say this probably has been the hardest part then of transitioning?
The awkward adult puberty. I'm not gonna lie, that was awful. The voice cracks at 22 and the weird in between stage where you're getting like single hairs, not even like a single patch,
And
just
we're still
single
refusing
hairs.
to shave it.
Yeah. Well, my wife would never let me go out of the house looking like a fool. So, got her for that. But it was just everything was just so awkward and new and my voice was dropping and it was cracking and it just I didn't know where to speak from whether be my throat, my chest, like I didn't know where I was supposed to be speaking from in certain situations.
I still don't know.
To be honest, same. I'm
I'm just
trying
like, I'm
really
just a little
hard to speak
guy.
through my chest
I'm
right now.
I want to try voice training so hard, but I feel like that takes a lot of effort and practice that I know I don't have the consistency or the discipline to do.
Yeah, see, whenever I feel like I'm sounding a little, girly or whatever, I'll just bust out the Minecraft zombie noise. Just gets me right back down to the right pitch.
You have to reset yourself. Kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Buffering.
No, for real. Like I'll just be like, "Oh my god, guys," and I'm like, "Oh."
I don't know. I whatever came with it just came with it. I didn't try
Same
to
here.
like do nothing. I just took it for what it was really.
Juju out of the box.
No, but sometimes on like a phone call, I'm just like, hello. Like I
Yeah.
try it because I can't undo my customer service voice. That's the one thing I can't do anymore.
I think it's like hardwired in. The second you learn it, it's just
Yeah.
there. There's no
I'm just
unlearning
like,
it.
yes, how can I help you? No. Why are we doing that?
All the
I don't have a
time.
customer service boy. Yeah, I'll just talk the same how I talk to everybody, and they get mad at my job because my job is pure customer service, and I'm just like,
Right.
yeah, how can I help you today? And they're like, you sound so uninterested, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fake it.
Right. I am.
Like,
What
let's
can
get
I
to the
say?
point here.
I don't know how I'd feel if I called like a bank or something and I'd hear, "Hey, what's up?"
Right. Imagine.
That's literally what it is. Maybe that's why I get so many mad people. I don't know.
I can see why your bosses would be mad, but like as a customer, I'd be like, "That was one really chill dude." Like,
Right.
Breaking news!
Back in January, Trump passed an executive order prohibiting doctors from providing gender-affirming care to trans youth under 19 years of age by withholding federal funding from hospitals that provide it. Despite being one of the country's oldest providers of gender-affirming care for trans youth, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles has announced that it will close its Center for Trans Youth Health and Development beginning July 22nd. Children's Hospital LA is currently one of the only medical facilities in the United States that provide puberty blockers, hormones, surgeries for trans youth using public insurance. This will further impact the feasibility for low-income individuals to gain access to necessary life-changing medication.
So in other news, the ACLU urges trans people who need passport updates to apply as soon as possible. As of right now, you are able to update your passport with the correct gender marker with which you identify. This, of course, is good news due to the recent changes made by the Trump administration. So if you're needing an update on your passport, they're recommending that you do that as soon as possible.
In other good news, civil rights organization NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, said ally. In a recent post, they stated that it was a waste of time to give a platform to a fascism. When asked if Donald Trump would be invited to its national convention, this marks for the first time in 116 years that a U.S. president will not be present for this convention. The NAACP continues to fight for diversity and inclusion of all intersectionalities, recognizing that BIPOC LGBT folk face more challenges over youth who are only LGBT or only BIPOC.
And so as far as like masculinity and femininity, things like that, do you feel or have you ever felt that you had to like perform masculinity?
so it before coming out, I never felt the need to perform masculine, like just anything in any sense. Um, but there was definitely a lot of times where, we need big, strong boys to pick up these chairs, and I was
Oh,
like the
me.
first one to volunteer. Teacher was always like, no. So there was definitely that. But I mean, as far as performing masculinity now, I mean, I always feel like I need to participate in the gross cis guy talk. Like, I really don't want to. I don't want to talk about women like that. I just don't want to. It's just not appealing to me. But I feel like I'm not gonna be seen as a man if I don't. So I sprinkle it in, but like nothing bad, obviously. I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, that woman looks like a woman. Like the worst like conversation ever.
And they
But
all just walk away after that.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay.
They're like, okay, that's a weird dude.
So I don't befriend cis men.
I don't
Exactly,
either.
exactly what I was thinking too. I
I
was
don't
like, nah,
either.
this man, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
If I was friends with a cis man, I feel like we would have had a very serious talk about that kind of behavior, and there would have been crying and emotions, and it would not have been a very guy talk.
Have like two solid ones, but they both have partners that are fruity, so it's easier to talk to them.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
one friend who was a cisgender. I'm the leader. I'm this and that, and I was like coming out like it was like in the beginning where we were friends, and I've kind of just shifted that guy off to the side.
Is this the one guy that I know about?
Yeah, yeah. Where me and so
Fuck that guy.
we were talking. Yeah, exactly. We were talking August last time about uncomfortable conversations with like
Mhm.
cis people, and like yeah, that guy was definitely. He thought I was an
He
encyclopedia
was
for
one of
trans
them.
people.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. So what's one of the dumbest things that anyone's ever said to you about being trans?
I came out to a coworker at my old job, and their first response had to be like, "This one's just plain, just what?" But their first response was, "Don't hit on me now." I'm like, "What? What do you think this means?"
right. You
Don't
didn't
hit
just
on me.
become a whole different person.
Right? Like, even if I liked your personality, I wouldn't, trust me. But
Be like, I don't even find you attractive.
literally, I was like, "Don't worry, that's not gonna be a problem." But and then another person said that so I worked with a guy at my last job, and he's a furry, and people kind of like knew. I don't know if he ever confirmed it to many people, but everyone just kind of like knew. Like he was like the gay man, the furry, like he was that coworker. And so everyone was like, "Oh, you and him are just alike now." And I'm like, "Whoa. Whoa. No.
We love
No, sir.
Not the same
we
thing,
love the furries, but
but we're not the
Support,
same
but
not
thing.
trans
don't.
people.
No."
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not trans people though.
We support, but personally from afar.
So when did you start first realizing the way people were seeing you was matching how you saw yourself?
Honestly, when I got called buddy at the gas station for the first time, I went and I bought my beer, and he goes, "Okay, thank you, buddy." And I'm like, "Yes." But that's honestly, I don't pay attention to it much because I just got so used to people not perceiving me the way that
Mhm.
I felt I wanted to be perceived. So I
I
just
tune
kind
it
of
out
tuned
now.
it out.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how to tune back into it.
Yeah. Relate, relate.
Do you ever feel invisible in queer spaces or trans spaces?
So, in a weird way, yes. I don't think trans men are as seen as trans women, which can be okay, like with all of the legislation and stuff. Like it's okay, but like, damn, I want to be included.
You're right.
Like, see me, but not that much,
Exist. Right.
Not too much.
right? Like,
Just a
just
little
just
bit.
know
Yeah.
that just know that we're here. Just don't do anything about it. But like, I mean, in a weird way, like I feel very invisible in lots of like queer spaces. Like, there's been a couple of Discord servers that I've just straight up left because I personally just didn't feel very seen. And like one of them was specifically like targeted for trans people, and like that's actually where Juju and I met, was in that Discord server. And I ended up leaving because I just the vibe was different, as well as like I just didn't feel very seen anymore. You know, no matter like if I did contribute to the conversation, there would be no back and forth banter. It was always like,
You
yeah,
skipped over.
agree. I disagree. Here's why, and then nothing else. I'm like, okay, well, this is fantastic conversation. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've same. But as far as like in in queer spaces for sure, like if me and my wife go to like a event specifically for trans people or LGBTQ people, I feel like they're looking at me like I'm
Yeah.
just some heterosexual white guy,
Well, I
cis
can
man,
tell you, if you're
and
going
they're
to a
just
queer
like,
event, they're gonna look at you because you're gonna be the token straight couple there.
Mhm.
yeah, and so they're just looking at me and like sometimes like I want to like put myself out there and like, oh yeah, like oh I'm trans and like went to this one event. My wife went and specifically bought us flags just so I could match the other trans men that were there that had flags too, so they could know that I was trans. And I was like,
Right. Like,
I don't
why
want
do
to
we
wear
have
this. Like,
to?
yeah,
Why do
and
we
I was like, I don't want to
have to
have to
wear a
do that.
flag to?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to, but I also don't want to be looked at like I'm just
Mhm.
some
Token,
cis man.
token guy,
Yeah.
token cis guy. Like,
Yeah,
Especially being a
yeah,
white
for
guy.
sure,
Like, fuck.
for sure. Yeah,
like nothing
yeah, it's the
interesting
worst.
about me.
Exactly. We started a podcast.
That's
Was there ever a moment when you looked in the mirror and you're like, yeah, that's me right there?
I've gotten close, but I haven't had that fully realized moment. I've been like, yeah, okay, I look pretty good today. Like, but never been like a, oh yeah, that's definitely it. That's it. That's the mood. Like, it's always been like, I look pretty good today. I like how I look today. It's never been like, that's it. That's the one.
All right, you're gonna get there.
I hope so.
You will. You will.
I mean, I would say like knowing you for like what the past 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
I would say like yeah, I would say you're that guy. Like yeah, you're
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Just calling someone that
no
guy.
no you're that guy. Like you're it. You know what I mean? You're it. You're fully maxed. Oh shit, you're fully maxed out of like yeah, I would say so.
See, this is why we don't get mics on stands, Juju.
Right.
Look, this is a learning. We're learning here. This is a little weird. This is a little not natural to me.
It feels so
Yeah.
strange being able to like see most of your face, but just not all of it. There's just like a chunk missing.
There you go. Is that good?
He said,
Is
"Oh,
that
I gotta
good?
find the right chunk."
Right.
And so what's the weirdest or like most unhinged assumption someone's made about you being trans?
So when I came out to a family member, they genuinely said, "Are you only doing this so you don't have to shave your legs?" um, like no, that's just a big added bonus.
Right.
That's a
But
lot
One
of
less
work to
thing to
not
do.
shave your legs.
right. But like someone's very vulnerable with you, and the first thing you say is it so you don't have to shave your legs?" Like what?
That's such an odd thing to do to escape from that task.
Right. Like you know what? I'm tired of shaving. Boom.
And then we just shoot myself up every week.
Right?
Double down.
Well, see, I don't even do that anymore.
Period. Lucky you.
I do gel. I do gel on the weekdays. On the weekends I always forget. But
On the weekdays.
well, I'm not up getting ready for work every day. So therefore, there's no reason for me to go in the bathroom at a time early enough to put it on to have, the full like 8 to 12 hours. So by the time I remember, it's like noon, and I'm like, well, I'm planning on showering in a couple hours anyways, so there's no point.
Yeah, I get you. I barely remember to do my weekly shot. It's more like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks.
And that's perfectly fine.
The shaving the legs thing is so weird because like
I keep circling back to that.
no, because like even before I came out, like I wasn't shaving my legs, but I was also very masculine, anyways. So
Mhm.
like, if somebody were to say that to me, I'd be like, girl, like I haven't shaved my legs in years. Like I don't know how long it's been. So
Yeah,
like,
I hated doing that too,
Dude,
pre-transition.
I did it, but mostly just, society and because I wore shorts to work.
You know what I would do? Because I played soccer, I would shave only my knee, so like half of my calf up to my thigh.
That's
Be like,
so
look, I
funny.
shaved my legs.
That's so funny. I used to do that with like ripped jeans or like back when I wasn't allowed to wear the shorts I wanted to wear, so I had to wear like those the like oddly long shorts.
hmm
So I would always shave like just enough, no more than what I needed to wear the clothes that I wanted to wear.
The bare minimum.
Yeah.
Me too.
Just your knees though.
Yes. I hated shaving my legs.
just the knees.
Just the knees. Well, because the socks and then the shorts would meet, so then it would be like just my knees showing, whereas like, all right, I'll just shave that part.
I mean, why bother at that point?
Because then people make fun of you for having leg hair.
It made sense to him at the. Mine was the armpit thing, shaving your armpit.
Shaving your armpits.
Dude, that was awful. It was so bad.
I did the same thing with the legs. I just left
Never
it there.
did it. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you finally seeing yourself and being out and who you are?
I honestly could not come up with a really solid answer for this one. The best I could come up with is um, just to be fully accepted, flaws and everything. Just, I mean, just unconditional. And like the dog, he loves me unconditionally, even though I have flaws. Like something like that, Like that man's best friend kind of love.
No, definitely.
For sure. And what hopes would you say you have for the future, maybe for yourself or for like the trans community as a whole?
Well, for myself, I do hope that I get that that's me moment. Just a little shameless personal plug there, but
No, it's
and then
important.
for the community, I it's gonna be just really cliche, but I mean, it is what it is. To be seen, heard, and accepted, and just fully embraced, because the community deserves so much more love than they're getting right now.
So do.
For sure.
Well, we didn't even talk about the whole stealth aspect.
We didn't.
We can talk about it now if you want.
It is so hard to be stealth at work because like something will happen and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just like the time when I was in high school, but in high school I wasn't who I am now, and so it's like just like a bunch of little like, oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that, but nobody can know. Like
Like if you tell the story, then they know you're trans.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So I just don't tell
100%.
stories at work. I'm very closed off at work, and none of my coworkers seem to like it.
So is it just like you're like completely stealth? They don't know anything. You're just
Yeah.
Mason.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I wish I could be stealth, but I don't know.
Mine's like
I might
half and
have a
half. I don't know.
I did a majority of like my physical transition at my last job, and then when I was like comfortable enough to be like, okay, I see myself as a man,
Mm.
then I just got a new job. After all, the
okay.
legal stuff went through, and I was just like, yep,
Yeah,
okay, this is it, new job time.
I guess. Yeah, it's easier that way if you do it. But my name isn't legally changed yet. And so I got a second job after top surgery, and I was like, oh, cool, I can be stealth. But then there was people at it's my current job that knew me like either while I was transitioning or before.
No,
So I was like, oh, well, if some people know, some people don't, whatever. You find out, you find out.
yeah, that's kind of how I am now, except with just how Ohio is, like, I don't really want people to find out.
All right. So that's a wrap on today's episode of Two Guys Unfiltered. A huge thank you to Mason for sharing his story. If today's episode resonated with you or reminded you of your own story, we would love to hear from you. Click the link in the description below to fill out a form if you're interested in being our next guest.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.